here, we are paying in on our debt of the attendance challenge that the 7th graders won. You picked the Who's Most Likely to Flower challenge, and we have tabulated all of the results. And now you get to find out whether or not Mr. K or Mr. Fischer is most likely to. Westy is going to help us by dunking their head in the flour. If they are most likely to, they will get dunked. So here we go. Our first question. Who is most likely to go to a museum? And you said, Mr. K. Our next question. Who was most likely to go to a Justin Bieber concert? This one, unfortunately, was a tie.
Oh.
The third one. Who's most likely to be better at math? You said that was also Mr. K. Who's most likely to be dramatic? This was not a surprise. You said it was definitely Mr. Fischer. Who's most likely to survive a zombie apocalypse? It was very close, but Mr. Fischer is most likely to come out of that one alive. Who was most likely to bungee jump in your opinion? That was Mr. Fischer. Who's most likely to win the lottery? You said Mr. K had the better luck. Who's most likely to win an Olympic medal? That, you said, was Mr. Fischer.
Easy one.
Who's most likely to break some kind of a world record? You almost unanimously agreed that was Mr. Fischer. Who's most likely to invent something useful? And that, you determined, was Mr. K. Who's most likely to be on a reality TV show? Going right along with that dramatic flair, you said was Mr. Fischer. Who's most likely to forget important dates? You agreed that it was Mr. Fischer. This was the one that had this, the largest margin, and it's who's most likely to not shower for a week. I think it was only 2 votes for the person most likely to be struck by lightning. This one I heard the most discussion on, and it was really interesting. And you said that Mr. Fischer was most likely to be struck by lightning. Had something to do with the height, I think. Who's most likely to have the most pets? You decided that Mr. K would have the most pets. Who's most likely to swim with sharks? You decided that was Mr. Fischer. Who's most likely to be a TikTok star, which we're definitely going to have to pressure him to do more, is Mr. Fischer.
Just talked about that.
Who's most likely to fall asleep in class? You agreed that both of our fearless leaders can't stay awake in class. Who's most likely to start a food fight? You said Mr. Fischer. Who's most likely to eat bugs? I'm not quite sure the context you decided, but that was also Mr. Fischer. Who's most likely to win an eating contest? Mr. K. Unless it's bugs, in which case it probably would have been Mr. Fischer. Who's most likely to win at a chess game? You decided that was Mr. K. One of the most surprising ones was who's most likely to be a magician? You thought both of them were good at magic. Who's most likely to be afraid of spiders? We'll have to ask him if this is true afterwards. Mr. K. And then last, who's most likely to be in a band? And you decided that that was Mr. Fischer as well. I hope that you enjoyed getting to see which one of our fearless leaders is most likely to. We appreciate you logging in and taking your attendance every day. Happy holidays, and we'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.